So back in the spring, we went to the Amish market at Shrewsbury in Pennsylvania, and I made a video there touring the inside of their market as well as some of their chicken coops. Everyone really liked that video, and since it was so well received and since everyone found it so interesting, we're going to go back now that the seasons are changing and take a look at some of their fall stuff. We're going to start inside and look at some of their different furniture and decorations, and that can help give you some inspiration for different fall decorating or just home decorating in general. And I'll show you a little bit of the prices there on their furniture and decorations. We'll also take a quick look through their food court because they have some really nice food there. And then towards the end, we will stop off and look at some of the coops and take a quick walkthrough in one of the cabins that the Amish make there and sell. And just a little disclaimer, if you notice some of the chickens look a little rough, that's because they are starting to molt. Malting season is coming very fast. And there's Gertrude. Also, don't mind all the trash in here. We just recently moved and we bought a house from a family that had a bunch of little kids. And as you know, chickens like to dig and scratch and peck around. And no matter how many times I come in here and clean this pen out, they still keep digging up toys from the kids that lived here before we bought the house. So it's a bit of a project, but that's a story for another time. Let's head over to the Amish market and get right into it. All right, so we start inside of the building, like I said, and they have some just regular home decor stuff, but they have a lot of seasonal fall type stuff too. So we're gonna go look at that in just a second. But these are just some different things that I thought were cute. I really like this frog statue, and it wasn't too hateful. It's $21.95. That would be good in your garden. And then we're gonna move right over and start looking at some of the more seasonal stuff. They had these handmade wooden mangers that I thought were really, really cute. Don't be too shocked at some of the prices here. It is really, really quality stuff. A lot of this is handmade. So you're gonna be spending a little bit more at a place like this, but they had some really neat, beautiful stuff. So we're just going to take a nice relaxing walk through here and look at all the different fall decorations and get some inspiration. I really like this chicken mug, and I thought the price wasn't too terrible. And then I like the style in here a lot. And I really, really liked this. I showed this in the video last time. I just love that rustic look with the chicken wire. And then they have these soft felt pumpkins for $28.95. They had a bunch of different styles of those. I loved this light up fall tree. I thought this leaf garland was beautiful. And I really like these table runners, especially the turkey one. That was cute. I thought these were really neat, so I wanted to show those real quick. $63.95 for the globe. And they had some different signs here. This one for all my chicken people out there, I thought you guys would appreciate this. Then they had some different farm type ones. I thought this bluebird one was really cute too. And for $19.95, it's not too bad. Because like I said earlier, most of the stuff in here is going to cost you a pretty penny. But it's quality stuff and it's made to last. They also had a bunch of different pots and planters here. They had some really cute, fun, unique ones. I really loved the pig. That was cute. $6.95, not too bad. And the frog one, of course, because I love frogs. That was cool. The mushroom one I thought was pretty neat as well. $14.95 for that one. And then they even had a section for different dog stuff too. And then of course the birdhouse gourds are always neat to look at. These are actual gourds and they were hand painted with different themes on them. And then they also have a section here with some handmade soaps and it smelled amazing. They had a lot of different scents. And then I had to show you guys this one because of all my chicken followers. $52.95 was a bit too steep for me, but I loved that painting. They had some really nice stuff in this little room. I loved the colors. And then Steve wanted to show off this pretty neat marble roller. They just have a lot of really neat stuff here. And then we made our way into the food court. They have a bunch of different pickle flavors, so that was pretty cool. Here's a look at some of the different ones. And then they also have fudge, they have candy, they have whoopie pies, lots of cheese, they have a deli. The candy and caramel and chocolate apples looked and smelled really good. And then they have all your different jams, jellies, salsas. They had dips, salad dressings. They had a bunch of local honey. And then they even had some free samples of some of their stuff out. Lots of different options here. And their quiche looked really good as well. We found this huge jar of honey for $1.15. It was 1 gallon of honey. And then you can walk through their produce section. A lot of this stuff here was grown and fresh picked by the Amish. They had cherries, peaches, plums. They had sweet corn, melons, all kinds of stuff. A lot of their winter squash is coming in now too. They had sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, and then these backpacks and handbags were pretty cool. Here's a look at some of their whoopie pies. They make them in many different flavors. I love just the traditional one. And then you gotta stop and get some of their handmade pretzels if you stop here. They are so good. I ended up getting just the regular pretzel sticks, just the traditional kind, and Steve got a steak, egg, and cheese breakfast pretzel sandwich, and I tried a couple bites of it and it was phenomenal. So I think next time we go back I'm gonna have to get that one. And as we continued through the food court, I found this rare sight, donut peaches. I've always been a big fan of them. I just think they're neat, I think they're cute, and they taste pretty good too, so I had to show those off. They're kind of hard to find, at least in my area, so that was cool. And then we moved outside and looked at some of their decorations. They had a lot of really cool stuff for Halloween, and then I really loved this one. It was $32. They had some cute flags. And then they had this little pumpkin plant holder for $13.50, and we really liked that one. We almost splurged on it. And here's the greenhouse from last time. So they don't just have sheds and coops here, they also have greenhouses. And then here's the office building for Penn Dutch Structures. If you want to buy something or have anything built special for you, you can stop in here and talk to the team. Here's one of their picnic tables for $7,640. And it comes with the chairs, it looks like. And then I always think these wishing wells are cute. And then there is the cabin. They make different styles of cabins that you can tour. And I actually have a whole separate video on this, and I'll put the link to that in the description below. So if you want to have a more detailed tour and more information on that, check out that link, because since I had already done that before, we just do a quick walkthrough in this one. But I wanted to show it again because it's neat, and it's cool to see all the different stuff that they can make for you, including the furniture that's inside of here. This one even comes with a deck. Now the furniture is not included if you buy the cabin, but it's just cool to see all the stuff you can get to go with it. And they have different styles of countertops that you can choose. And then here's a look in the bathroom. It's funny because on the outside the cabin may look a little bit small, but it's actually pretty spacious. And then as I was walking through, Steve found something kind of odd, so I'll show you that. What, is someone in there?
No, but take a look. A vial of something? A Dr. Pepper?
That's concerning.
Yeah. And hat.
I guess maybe someone sneaks in here at night and sleeps here.
They won't be snitches.
Like a frogger?
Like a frogger.
That's one of my biggest phobias. What if they're still in here? What if they're under the bed? That would be traumatizing. People under the bed is another phobia.
Fixer-upper?
So after seeing that, we kind of hurried up in there. It was probably nothing sinister at all, but I have a phobia of froggers. I can't help it, so my mind just instantly went there. So I kind of just did a quick walkthrough. I didn't want to come face to face with anyone. But then after walking out, my logic kind of set in, and I was like, the chances of it being some kind of creeper are pretty slim. But I just wanted to explain why we did just kind of a quick walkthrough and wrapped it up after that. And then outside of the cabin, they had these really nice chairs. Here's Steve's review. How is it?
You know what? Pretty comfortable. Sits back pretty nicely. You can rock all around.
And now we move on to the chicken coops. I do have a whole other video where I showed these before in great detail. I actually have a couple different videos on this, so check that out on my channel. I'll put the link to one of them in the description below. I was going to take you inside of this one, but this one was locked, so maybe someone bought it. Who knows, but most of them you can open up and go in and out of, which is pretty nice. This one was one of my favorites from last time. I still love it. Like all of their models here, it lifts up and holds into place like this, so you can easily gather your eggs out of the nesting boxes here. Very convenient. Here's the price on this one and the dimensions. And then they all come with this little ramp that you can put at the little door so your chickens can easily go in and out. They have these bars in the back so that way your chickens can have ventilation, but predators can't grab them because it has wire there, so that's very nice. And then here's the door that I was talking about that your chickens can go in and out of during the day. You prop the ramp up against that. And it latches shut when you're done with it at night when you close them in. And then this one came with its own fenced-in part for them to go outside. They had a lot of models like that. I personally prefer the ones that don't have the attached run. I like to just put my coop inside of a fenced-in area so I can have more space for them. But for people that have limited space, or if you live somewhere where you can't have a lot of chickens, this is a great and easy option because it's all in one. And then in the back, you see they also have run-in sheds. So if you have horses or livestock, you can get stuff for them here too. Here is one of their 4x8 Dutch coops. Now, this one, it's cute, but I recommend getting a coop you can stand up in because, trust me, it makes cleaning so much easier. So, although this one did look nice, I am not a huge fan of that model. So if we go over and look at this one, here is yet another Dutch style, but this one has a taller ceiling, so you can stand up in this one. There's more room, so if you have to go in there to clean out the coop, it's just going to be so much easier. And that's just my personal preference. You may feel differently, but that's what I prefer. This one here was $7,255. It's a 7x12 Quaker. And this one was really cool because it had its own built-in storage part. So you can decorate that, make that fun, make that your own little space where you keep their supplies. And you can shut the door so the chickens can't get in there and make it messy. Nice and spacious. And then you come right through here, and this is the living quarters for your chickens. Like all of them, it has the roosting bars in the back. It's got the ramp, it's got the nesting boxes, you got windows for ventilation, and the windows, I would recommend closing them at night, but during the day you can open them up, give them some fresh air. And then they even had some chicken tractor styles, and that's ones that have a wheel and you can move it, so that way you can always move the coop and the little built-in run and give your chickens access to clean, fresh grass. And then down this way, I'm not going to go through all of these, but they had a bunch of different sheds and gazebos. And even some little garages. And to wrap it up, I wanted to show you this real quick because it was cool. Their barns and stalls and stables, like just everything they make here is just so cool. This barn had an upstairs, it had a bunch of different stalls, but it looked like they were actually coming back to finish working on this one, so I didn't want to invade their space, so I just showed it off really quick because it was neat. But yeah, they have options for everything. They even have little dog houses, they have rabbit hutches, basically just about any kind of pet or livestock, they have supplies for them. I didn't see anything for reptiles, that's kind of a specialty pet. But we always have a great time walking through there, looking at all their stuff. The food is always great. I highly recommend checking this place out if you're in the area. And then, on the way home, we went to Brown's Orchard. It's not too far away. I'll put its address down on the screen. But we stopped there and got some fresh produce. Their apples are incredible. We got their Honeycrisp apples. And then we also tried their apple cider slushies, and that was so good. I can't wait to go back and get more before fall's over. So that's just another place to stop by if you're going to be through that way. I may eventually make a full separate video on Brown's Orchard in the future, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that when it eventually comes out.